Good evening. Look forward to a very judicious meeting tonight. I think we have a lot of good information that will be departing, but more importantly, I want to thank you all for being with us tonight. Do we have any organizational service announcements?
No, sir, we don't.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask the Right Reverend Rabbi Frank Joseph from the congregation Irving Havavruth, I hope I got that right, for our invocation. Rabbi, please.
Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu, our God and God of our fathers. We come together this evening as an extremely diverse but united community with much gratitude. As we are every single day of our lives, we are extremely grateful for all the countless blessings you have bestowed upon us all. We are extremely grateful for our families, our friends, our health, our occupations, our avocations, our opportunities, the gift and wonderful blessings of being residents in every loved city of Irving, and the wonderful continual possibilities that you, O God, provide for us all. As we are about to celebrate our country's 250th anniversary of independence, we are especially grateful and blessed to have the privilege of being Americans and living in a country that ideally continually strives to guarantee freedom of religion, speech, the press, lawful assembly, the right of peaceful expression, and encourages, treasures, and eagerly embraces diversity. We are especially blessed to live in a country that continually strives to make the welfare and well-being of all of its citizens, no matter what race, ethnic background, or economic status, its highest priority. The model for all civic involvement is found in the biblical book of Jeremiah, where we read, "Seek the peace of the city, where I have caused you to dwell in, and pray to the Lord for it. For in the peace thereof you shall find and experience peace." Our religious tradition has taught us for centuries and still continues to teach us, never separate yourselves from the needs of your community, but rather be actively involved. Always make communal needs a top priority. It is in this spirit, O God, that we ask your blessings upon the wonderful, selfless, dedicated leaders of our beloved city of Irving. We ask your blessings upon all of our community leaders, all of our elected officials, our police and fire chief, our city managers, and all the staff who selflessly and continuously give of their time, their energy, their experience, their insight, their sincere love and devotion to service on behalf of us all. Bless them, O God, sustain them, guide them, continuously be with them in all of their endeavors, that all of their selfless works and projects bear fruit. My family and I absolutely love having the opportunity, pleasure, and privilege of residing in the city of Irving, Texas. As a result of the efforts of our community leaders, Irving continues to be the winning combination of everything, and as a result of the continual work of our civic leaders, our beloved city continues to grow, thrive, and flourish in every area, south, east, north, and west. Irving is a city we can reside, work, and play in, and all of our recreational, dining, musical, cultural, education, and spiritual needs are provided for, and that, oh God, is because of our leaders. We are extremely grateful for our incredible police and fire departments, our wonderful parks, libraries, medical facilities, and schools. It is also a wonderful pleasure and privilege to be a part of the Interfaith Alliance of Irving, where individuals of all faiths, multicultural backgrounds, come together to work on projects benefiting all the residents of Irving. The wonderful diversity and inclusion of all peoples, races, creeds, cultural and spiritual traditions in our city enriches us all. As a result of our talented, vibrant, and committed leadership today, we are excited to see the amazing future that awaits our wonderful city. We are grateful for our new city initiatives and programs, such as the Irving Connector, the Road to the Future Initiative, Let's Play Irving, the Mustang Multi-Generational Center, the Center Park upgrades, and the Irving Reimagined project. As we recently held elections, we express our gratitude to all of those who served, and we ask your blessings, O God, on our new mayor and on all our new representatives. In closing, O God, we ask your continual blessings upon us all. May we as individuals and as a community continue to grow from strength to strength. We will conclude with the priestly blessing first conferred upon the ancient Israelites 3,500 years ago. We ask you, O God, to confer these blessings to all who are assembled here this evening. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the Lord bless you and protect you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha b'chinecha. May the Lord deal kindly and graciously with you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Lord bestow his favor upon you and grant you peace. And may God bless us all with long, happy, healthy, prosperous, peaceful, meaningful, fulfilling lives. Amen.
Amen. If you would, John Block, would you lead us in the pledge?
Face the flag and stand over your vote and recite the pledges with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, Sinead, do we have any proclamation? I see we don't tonight. Am I correct? Okay. At this time, City Manager, Chief City Operations update.
No operations update this evening, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Sinead, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this item on public hearing?
We do, Mayor. We have one person, Mr. Roy Getting. Please state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Roy Getting, 2208 Rita Court here in Irving, and you could probably recite my speech already for me. Yeah, we got smaller cities all around this state that have gone and implemented no new taxes for years. You make a big deal out of saying, hey, we've never raised the tax rate. No, you haven't had to raise the tax rate because our property values have skyrocketed. We've got new businesses coming in, so we got more grounds to do. It's about time we went back and started looking and say, okay, what was our population in 2000? How many city employees do we have? How many do we have in 2024? And you're going to see this number of employees greatly increased by percentage than the population did. Now, for police and fire, yeah, they may need to increase a little bit more as our population grows. But city staff, no way. You don't see big Fortune 500 companies, huge companies. As they grow, their employee base does not grow that much. It's time you took a business aspect to this, looked at it, cut it back. But let's implement no new taxes. Now, the one thing I did notice that I really appreciate is you're using goats to take care of the parks. As a guy who grew up in a farm with 2,000 head of sheep, it's a good way to trim grass and fertilize it. Now, as I understand it, one of you tomorrow is headed to the North Central Texas Council of Governments for a meeting on transportation. DART is going to be asking for money. Please vote no, because that affects us here in town and our budget. and they have not been responsible at all for any of the money we've given them. Thank you.
That concludes our speaker.
We're through. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Roy. Consent items on our agenda are 1 through 30. At this time, Sinead, do we have anyone signed up to speak on any of the consent agenda items?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. At this time, excuse me. Item number 3, approving work session minutes for Thursday, May 7th. We also have item 4, approving regular meeting minutes for Thursday, May 7th. Also, item 5, approving special meeting minutes for Wednesday, May 13th, 2026. And item 6, approving the budget and strategic planning minutes for Wednesday, May 20th, 2026. Yeah. Yes, okay. I'm now going to move to item number 7, which is ordinance. And as I mentioned earlier, if there's no comments or anybody that would want to speak on items 3 through 30, then I'll move through them at this time.
Mayor, you may take a motion on all the consent agenda
Yes.
items, so from 3 to 30, you can welcome a motion for that unless somebody wants to take something out.
Yeah, I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second
Great,
motion.
thank you very much. All in favor, get ready to, at this point, I think, prepare your vote. Okay. Unanimously approval. We have for individual consideration, item 31, a resolution considering special sign permit 2026-01600, requesting a digital messaging cabinet. Am I moving into the wrong section? Am I still going? Okay, that's what I thought, because I remember when we were discussing this. Okay. That's allowed the sign height to the raised to 40 feet and to increase the sign area to be the 197 square feet located at 250 West Airport Freeway. Owner, Steve Simons. Applicant, Steve Simons. Sinead, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this item?
No, sir.
At this time, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second
Is there a
motion.
Okay, prepare to vote. Unanimously approved. Thank you. This time, we're going to move on to our zoning cases. I think, is Jocelyn in the area? Okay.
Mayor, if you will, I will swear everybody in.
Thank you.
If they're speaking on a zoning case, will you please raise your hand if you're speaking, stand and raise your hand if you're speaking on a zoning case? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that all statements which you will make tonight to the City Council of the City of Irving will be the truth and nothing but the truth? You may be seated.
Okay, at this time, we'll move on. We have our zoning cases that have also companion items. Ordinance number 32, 2025, 189ZC, considering a zoning change from R40, single-family residential 40, to SP2 R6, generalized size plan, single-family resident, 6 feet to allow for 2 primary single-family structures at 2027 South Nursery Drive. Sinead, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this item?
We do. Ms. Virginia Robinson.
Okay.
You have 3 minutes.
Am I still on time?
5.
Thank you.
10. Are you the applicant?
Yes.
Yes, then you have 10.
Oh, great. I thought
Yes.
I'm going to have to speak really fast.
You
Good
would
evening.
have.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Councilman. Thank you so much for hearing my case. My name is Virginia Robinson. I'm the property owner at 2027 South Nursery Drive. I'm here to apply for rezoning from an from an R40 to an R6, and to allow for a variance for a second residence on the same lot. I did attend the work session this afternoon, so I did hear some of your comments. I think several of you are familiar with the property, or you saw pictures today, and a few mentioned being familiar with the property. But I do have a presentation here where I can at least show you pictures if you need to be refreshed, except I'm not sure. There we go. Okay. These are not necessarily in order of importance, but I did want to point out, which I understand that I might be wrong in this, sounds from the comments made today. Yeah, okay, thank you. There was a lot of talk about ADUs, and my understanding has been evolving over the past several months with this, but it sounds like you're adopting a very broad understanding or use of the definition ADU. According to what I understand, an ADU is by definition smaller in size to a residence and also subordinate to it, and that is not what I'm asking here. The detached structure is larger in square footage than the main residence, so I just wanted to point that out because I know that is kind of a point of back and forth at the City Council, so if that could take any difficulty out of this, that would be great. So what I'm asking aligns with the city's comprehensive plan of neighborhood revitalization, quality design, and attainable housing for Irving residents. There was no opposition to this application, and it does not impact any of the surrounding area in a negative way. This is a picture of the structure. When I purchased the property in 2021, it was underutilized, it was in disrepair, and it had a lot of rats. So in 2022, I applied for replat. That has been a very long process, ending up in a lawsuit, which I know we kind of touched upon. I don't necessarily want to get into that unless you have specific questions. But at this point, replatting really does present an unnecessary hardship, which is why I'm coming to ask you for a variance, and I know you have the authority to grant that in a case such as this. So the current zoning, once again, is R40. I'm asking for an SB2 and R6. Part of that has to do with the size of the lot, and then the variance relief would be to complete a second residence. I think I can just move through that one. So on the left side, you see a aerial Linda Moon in front of the property. The structure closest to you would be the main dwelling. The structure farthest to the north is the second residence, or where that site would be. And then on the right, we have the survey showing both of those structures. Both of them have access to South Nursery Road. Because it was a replat, the plumbing for the separate structure is to the street, so it does not depend on the main residence. Both have sufficient space for fire access. there's no issue with easements. So really, this is a matter of you deciding whether or not this is something you can grant an exception for. And this is a view from the front of the two structures. Oh, I guess my picture from the backyard is deleted. Sorry, just want to check my notes. I would also ask that your votes this evening be based on this particular situation and not on what you have or have not granted to other applicants in the past. I do understand the difficulties with this, but it seems fair that you would look at these particular circumstances when casting your vote. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from?
I can speak, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you for coming down and making your case here in person. For my part, I do see this as a very common sense solution. And I mean, just looking at this picture here, it doesn't really strike me as an ADU or a backyard Airbnb. We can even see both homes have a very similar setback from the street. So, you know, as mentioned earlier in the work session, that we can't undo a replat, right? So preserving the size of this lot and just granting the zoning exception makes a lot of sense to me. So I'll be in support of this.
Can I add one more thing? Whether I replat or don't replat, I need the variance. So, I'm sorry, I need a rezone. So this is something that's going to come back, and it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to have to apply again to do the same thing. So I just want to point that out.
Mark?
Yeah, I think we've seen situations before with larger lots that can be split into two that fit into the community around it. And this is a larger lot where the two lots could be split into R6 lots, even if you might need a variance after the replat. And considering that it is a lot like an ADU situation. I mean, you can try to define it in certain ways, but what it means is another living structure with all the full amenities of a home on the same lot as a house. And so our code does not allow for that. So I see this in a lot of ways as an ADU. And the solution is, I mean, we've done it before, is to replat and to divide the lot into two. And so for those reasons, I'm opposed to the case.
Thank you. Oh, Councilman Block, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I think this is a procedural question for KO. Just out of curiosity. I know we can choose to reconsider an item in the same meeting if the council votes on it. Would it be possible to vote on this without the variance, just change it from R40 to R6 tonight? Since that is on the application, just with the variance. And I know we've dropped variance requests from other vote.
Give me just a second. Let me
Okay.
look.
Because, I mean, my preference would be to pass the case in front of us. But if it does fail, and that is something we can do, then my preference would be to reconsider.
Yeah,
And,
I just looking at this, the way it's been captioned and posted, I mean, you can just change the zoning without granting the additional variance. So you do have the ability to do that.
Okay. My preference would be to pass it as is.
Yes.
And get Ms. Robinson on her way. But if we don't have council's support, then I will be seeing if we can reconsider it after a failed vote and pass it without the variance, just change it to R6, because I believe that's necessary for a replat, before a replat.
Right, either way, it's necessary.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other comments? Yes, Dennis, please.
Yeah, Unfortunately, I sympathize with your situation. However, I got to be consistent with all of my votes that I've cast. This is, in my opinion, a ADU. It's another unit on the same piece of property as another unit. It's an auxiliary unit to, one of them is an auxiliary unit to the other. So unfortunately, you've got two houses on one piece of property, which in my mind qualifies as an auxiliary dwelling unit. I haven't voted to approve any of them yet, and I can't start tonight. So I just want you to know that until we get an ordinance that does allow ADUs in our city, I'll have to stay consistent in all of my previous votes. So I'll be voting denial.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes.
I just want to echo, thank you, sir. I see this as a good case for replat, and I wouldn't have any problem rezoning to R6. I just haven't heard enough undue hardship to replat versus doing the ADU. So unfortunately, I can't support.
Can I explain? I mean, if that's a question, I'd be happy to
Sure,
speak to
please.
that. So replatting at this time, okay, so there is an order of disbursement, which is one reason why eventually a rezone would be needed. However, I'm not exactly sure how that's going to end up. So as it is right now, the co-tenant was granted 75 feet at the back of the property. Nothing is happening with that right now, but if that becomes a piece of property, then I have to grant 24 feet easement as opposed to 12 feet easement. So replatting, and I don't know if that's going to happen now or never. I also have a lien on that property, so it might not ever happen. But if that does happen, then I have to replat the replat. And it just seems like a lot of wasted money. I replatted this place once already. I spent all the money to replat it so that I could do this. And so then it ended up in the lawsuit, so now I have an order of disbursement that isn't quite workable, but that's what the court granted. And so right now, it just seems like a lot of money down the drain for a piece of paper that doesn't really do much other than possibly satisfy someone else who's looking at this and asking, why does she get one if I didn't? So this really is an undue hardship. It's not that I'm not trying to comply. It just seems like, well, let's just pour more money down the drain for nothing because I may replat it. I'm not opposed to replatting it, but I'd like to at least if that happens, when that happens, I'd like to know how it's going to end up. In the meantime, I have this structure that's half built. I would love to finish it. And you can grant an exception. You have the authority to grant an exception. And it just seems to make sense. It seems to make more sense to grant an exception than to have me continue chasing, what the city wants or what someone else wants right now. So, and yeah, I'm not interested in selling half of the property. I'd like to keep it as is. It's a wonderful lot. I could provide someone with affordable housing, possibly a young family who wants their kids to play outside, or students, and just, I don't know what is an undue hardship if this isn't.
Yes. Luis,
You
can
can
I-
speak before, that's
Go
fine.
ahead,
Yeah.
Luis.
No, Mark can speak, yeah. That's
Luis, go ahead.
No, well, just to follow up on that, I think it makes sense, it's fine. It's reasonable. The replatting, it sounds like it might just eventually happen, so, the order of business, I'm fine either way, so I don't know what you want to say. I would like to make a motion to approve but I guess there's a comment before.
So on the situation, the case that's presented to us, as Commissioner Webb said, it is an ancillary dwelling unit. That's how it's presented to us. And you presented, an argument for why this is unusual because of a co-ownership situation that you had that went south, resulting in litigation. And that is not something that we're responsible for. It's something that happened to you, and I'm sorry for that. But now you're coming to us and asking us to, please don't follow your prior precedents for what you've done in these situations before because of a situation that you're in, that we're not responsible for. So we do have an interest in being consistent with our prior votes, and that is a proper motivation for how we cast our votes in these cases.
Could I answer that? Yes, except that I didn't self-impose this problem. It was a court order, and I was trying to comply with all the city requirements prior to this situation. And so, I'd have to disagree that I'm asking for an exception, which is why we get to come to city council to ask for this. Because we know it's not what's within the ordinance, but there isn't a solution for me. And today, I learned in the work session that there's also an ordinance for not dividing larger lots. So we want larger lots divided, we don't want them divided. It's just kind of,
Let me see if, is there any other input from anybody? Justin, would you join us down there for a minute? Justin, kind of take us through a short kind of replay of the 8-1 vote that the P&Z went forward with, and some of the comments that were made, just so I want to be sure we have the full picture before we vote.
Yeah, let me remember. So Jocelyn Murphy, Director of Planning. The one vote at P&Z is because he wanted to postpone it to allow more time to see what the options might be, and the other members just didn't support it, pretty much for the same reason that y'all are, in terms of it being a second unit being an ADU. And I know it's not an ADU, I know that's part of the discussion, but that they had the same discomfort that y'all are having.
So if you would take a moment to explain what her next step would be, should it be denied. I think I know what that is, but I think it's important that sounds to me like she wants to try to make the changes happen, but I'm not sure she's feeling like she's had the kind of clarity how to go forward. So maybe you can clarify that.
So Councilmember Block's proposal of keeping the R6, and if the second unit on the same lot is not what's preferred, then that would give the 50-foot lot frontage where it could be divided into 2 or 3 lots or whatever need be, and it would be under the 40,000 square feet, the 1 acre, so that would get us there. The only other option is for it to not be a dwelling unit.
Okay, thank you. Are you fully understanding what the process is and where we are at this point and where you are?
yes, I just don't want to do that. I mean, that's the hardship.
No, but that's...
Yeah, but I understand, yes.
Mayor?
Yes. Yes, John.
Just to speak to something you mentioned just before this, the ordinance against subdividing lots, so it's commonly called the Neighborhood Protection Ordinance. As I'm given to understand, and Jocelyn can correct me if I'm wrong, this would not apply to your property because the way that we calculate that, agricultural and R40 lots don't get calculated. So you would not be prohibited by that from subdividing your property.
Okay.
But just wanted to point that out. We do have a motion on the floor, and I don't want it to die.
There wasn't a second. So are you going to second it?
I'm going to second.
Okay, second. We have a motion for denial with a second.
No,
approval. For approval. Thank you.
Just a comment.
I should have had him go first at that point, right? Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Abdul, do you want to make a statement?
Yes.
Yes, please.
After reading all of this and listening to various options, that I would like to go with what the P&Z has recommended. But this will give an opportunity to have a discussion, as we talk about, to open up a discussion for an ordinance for ADUs. This is not the first case, and this is not going to be the last case. The ADU requests are going to come. We need to have a ordinance, a guidelines for people to consider before they apply for the ADUs. In the past, numerous times we have rejected the requests because we don't have any direction. So would it be possible to have this discussion open, to have an ordinance on this?
Yeah, Mark, please.
Yeah, no. I mean, we've had this discussion, and we had a vote on it, and we decided not to pass an ordinance to provide for ADUs, and we had lots of information presented on that for why that didn't make sense, for density issues, for fire issues, for quality of life issues, for parking issues, all sorts of issues. So we had that vote quite recently, within the past 2 years, so I don't see a reason to revisit it.
So basically, any cases which comes for the ADU request, we could just go by the book and deny?
Right, that was our vote, and that's how we should proceed, and that's what we've been doing.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I think we're at that point. Please show your vote. Passes, if I'm not reading it correctly, 5-4. Pass. Okay. You have your passage, ma'am. At this time, let me move on to item 33, which is 2026-56-SFP- considering a special fence project plan for 7-foot tall wood fence within the 15-foot required side yard setback on a reverse frontage lot at 2036 Pearl Lane. Sinead, do we have anybody signed to speak up on this item?
Yes, Mayor. Rebecca Muner, the applicant.
Okay.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Rebecca. My address is 2036 Pearl Lane, and I'm respectfully here today trying to see if I can get my fence to stay as it is. Oh my gosh, sorry. I kind of get nervous. I know I'm not doing anything wrong, right? But
You're fine. Take your time. You're doing great.
To keep it the way that we have it right now, it's important for me because, I mean, as you see, my kids like to be in the yard, and privacy for me and for my family is important, especially with having girls. Also, if you know, obviously, if I'm required to move it back a little bit, it would, you know, be a financial burden for me because I just had a baby 3 months ago, and my insurance didn't cover the hospital, practically didn't cover anything. So now I'm stuck with having to pay the hospital, the anesthesiologist, the OB-GYN. So, and that was not cheap because I had a C-section. So that's it would be a financial burden for me and for my family. But that's basically it for what I'm here for. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, any questions from the council?
Yes, ma'am. My understanding is that when you applied for the permit, it was for the 15-foot setback.
Yes. So I was doing my own homework when I left the last meeting from here. It's 15 feet, but from the stop sign to the fence. To my understanding, it had to be from the sidewalk, like this is the sidewalk, from here to there. But we did it from here to there. So it's 15 feet, but not the required 15 feet.
Are you saying that staff misled you somehow?
I'm pretty sure it's a miscommunication on my part because my English is not that good. I try, you know, I'm Mexican. My first language, of course, is Spanish, but I don't know if it was miscommunication on my part, which I'm pretty sure it was. But yeah, it's 15 feet, but not the, oh, here it is. Oh, yeah, it's right here. The 15 feet is from where the stop sign is. Yeah, it's right there, yeah. From where that corner's the stop sign, from here. So me, in my mind, it was, the sidewalk is where the red line is on this side. That was my understanding. But no, it's the whole thing. It was supposed to be from that part of the sidewalk, like this side, 15 feet that way. But I did it from this one to all the way that. So it's 15 feet, but not like that. Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Any other comments or questions from
I mean, I would
Yes,
be grateful, you know.
Dennis?
No, I don't have any comments. Would like to make a motion for approval.
Okay, is there a second?
Second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Please show your vote, please. Okay, you got pass.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and everything you guys do.
Okay,
Thank
take
you.
care of your baby.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, item 34, ordinance 2026-112-CP, considering an amendment to the comprehensive plan future land use map from transit-oriented development to warehouse manufacturing for approximately 21.2 acre bounded by Pioneer Drive on the north and North Britain Street on the east, the TRE Railroad to the south, and Burlington Northern Railroad to the west. Sinead, do we have anyone to speak on this?
No speakers.
And the applicant is not here, or is she here?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. You guys are quick on me tonight. Thank God. Okay, please show your vote. Passes unanimously. Okay, item 35, ordinance 2026-58-ZC/2026-131-UDC, considering a zoning change to rezone approximately 18 acres from HCD-TMU Heritage Crossing District Transit Mixed Use to ML-20 Light Industrial, and an amendment to the Unified Development Code, Section 2.6.6, Heritage Crossing District, to remove approximately 21.2 acres from the regulating plan. Sinead, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this item?
We don't have anybody signed up to speak, and again, we're the applicant on this
Motion
one.
for approval.
Oh, wait a minute. We have, Ahmad, you good? Okay, good. Thank you. Yes, there's a motion and a second. Okay, please show your vote. Unanimously be approved. Thank you. Next is item 36, ordinance 2026-117-ZC- considering a zoning change from SP1 R-AB detailed site plan restaurant with the addended accessory use for the sale of alcoholic beverages for on-premise consumption to SP2 C-O, generalized site plan, commercial office for research laboratory and the manufacture of pharmaceutical products at 1320 Greenway Drive. Janae, do we have anyone signed up to speak?
Yes, we do, Mayor. Andrew Rugg, he represents the property owner.
Great. Thank you, Andrew.
Good evening. I almost said good morning. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Andrew Ruig, 1341 West Mockingbird, here representing the property owner and the proposed user of the sites for Siemens Healthineers. So the Healthineers are a subsect of Siemens, which is a Fortune 100 company globally. And we are here today requesting base CO commercial office with the research, laboratory, and manufacture of pharmaceutical products as a principal use. You saw the site aerial in the work session today, and I just wanted to share a couple things with you tonight for this proposed use. Siemens Healthineers, they also go by PetNet Solutions. This is a small-scale pharmaceutical manufacturer for diagnostic biomarkers used for positron emission tomography, or PET. And these are used to image and diagnose critical oncologic, cardiac, and neurologic pathology. So in other words, these are biomarkers that are distributed to local hospitals, medical clinics, imaging facilities to help diagnose and possibly prevent curable diseases. So these are very important, biomarkers that are used for this life science industry. So this particular facility would create 20 to 30 high-paying jobs, such as chemists, pharmacists, engineers, and then just a couple other things to note. As was mentioned in the work session, future land use map complies with the business office for the office and commercial components. CO, this whole area in red is also a CO commercial office, so we are very similar to the surrounding area. Here's a couple images and renderings, I should say, of what the proposed facility would look like. So the research laboratory and the employees for the laboratory would surface parking outside. Here on the, this is the north side facing Greenway. That's where the delivery vehicles would take place for delivering these to the local hospitals. These small-scale biomarkers, so it's really just a Sprinter van or a personal vehicle from the facility they're delivering to that would do quick pickup, drop-off, so very limited traffic. Here's another rendering of the proposed site, and then I also just wanted to share I have David Haymond and Dwayne Marr with Siemens here tonight, should you have any operational or technical questions on this matter, and happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Great. Questions? Yes, John?
No question, just motion for approval.
Second the motion.
You got a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please show your vote. Thank you. Okay, item 37, ordinance 2026-123-ZC, considering a zoning change from ML 20, light industrial 20, and State Highway 183 overlay to SP 1, ML-20, detailed site plan, light industrial 20, and State Highway 183 overlay to add indoor recreational vehicle and travel trailer sales at a principal use at 3300 Royalty Row, Suite 100. Sinead, do we have anyone signed up to speak?
Yes, Mayor. Ashley Rabbi?
Mayor.
Okay, you're going to have to tell me how to pronounce that last name.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for approval.
Is there a second? Second. Thank you, David. We have a motion and a second for approval. Show your vote, please.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Take your time walking. Item 38, ordinance 2026-43-CP, considering amendments to Imagine Irving Comprehensive Plan to create Section 5, appendices adopt the North Nursery Corridor Neighborhood Plan as appendix and adopt updates to the future land use map. Shanae, do we have anyone signed up to speak?
No, sir, and the city is the applicant again.
Motion for approval.
Is there a second?
I have a question on this one.
Yes.
Do we need to make any amendments for number 7 on our vote? Or is everything set?
So in your packet, you have a primary ordinance that includes number 7, and there's also attachment that up at the top right, it says planning and zoning recommendation. So if you don't want to include number 7, it would be the planning and zoning recommendation version.
So we need to make a separate motion on that?
If you choose to leave it out, make sure you clarify in your motion to remove Area 7.
Let's,
we gotta vote on the
let's-
current motion, correct?
Yeah,
Or not?
let's
isn't a
have a
Can I amend the
motion.
motion?
Mayor, I make
I
a
vote-
motion.
Oh, go ahead, John, thank you.
I make a motion to amend the motion to include the exclusion of 7 as recommended by the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Please show your vote. Passes but unanimously. Is there another motion in a second? Or are we done? That's what I thought. Okay, who's going to make it?
No, we have a motion. It's been amended.
So it got amended, okay.
Now we just got to vote again.
That's exactly what I'm trying to get done, okay. Please show your vote. Is there a?
That was the amendment.
That was the amendment.
It's good. We're good.
Well, let me ask a question.
Yeah.
Don't we have to
I'll
have
weigh in. I'm happy to weigh in.
clarification? Don't we have
Yeah,
to
so it
have
was a
KO?
motion. Did you just do it as a straight?
Yeah,
Shanae
I
has
just-
just reflected it as a straight motion because we had a
Councilman Block
motion
and
but not a
Councilman Webb.
second. So your motion, we just treated it
Yes.
as a motion. There was a second and a vote. I think we understand the intent of council.
It died for a lack of a second,
Yep.
so.
So we're good.
Okay,
good.
so
Thank
we're
you.
good to go. Okay, we got that cleared. Everybody good? All right. At this point, that concludes all the,
Not quite.
no, I'm not done. Not done. Everybody, are you enjoying my first night doing this? Chief, I may need your help. All right, I know you are. Okay. At this point, if I'm not mistaken, we're got to appointments. Okay, well, I was going to get there. I had the page, okay? At this point, David Bath, I think you're going to make the motion on the appointments, please.
I move to appoint Sarah N. Tate to the Board of Directors of the Dallas County Flood Control District Number 1 to a term expiring August 2027. And I move to appoint Brad Straub and reappoint John Paul West, Blair Robinson, and Susie Fan to the Irving Hospital Authority Board of Directors to terms expiring June 30th, 2028.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the appointments. Please show your vote. Unanimously approved. I think that concludes.
You want to pause for a few minutes and we're going to have public comment.
Yes, I know that. Yeah, I got that. Thank you. At this point, we've gone through the work sessions as well as dealing with the various ordinances. We now move into, which basically concludes our regular agenda per the areas that we just went through. We'll pause briefly before beginning public comments for any of you that are in the audience that have signed up for public comments.